Wisdom seekers, have you ever felt the eerie sensation that someone close to you is wearing a mask? A friend, a colleague, or even a partner who smiles, nods, and says all the right things, but something about their presence gnaws at your intuition, whispering that what you see is not what is real? Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the invisible threads of pretense and deception that bind us to the wrong people. The ancient Stoics believed that clarity of mind was the foundation of a virtuous life. They spoke of uncovering the hidden truths beneath appearances, warning against the dangers of false connections. Epictetus once said, "Appearances to the mind are of four kinds. Things either are what they appear to be, or they neither are nor appear to be, or they are and do not appear to be, or they are not and yet appear to be." Rightly to aim in all these cases is the wise man's task. This task is ours today, to discern between the genuine and the false, the sincere and the counterfeit. Because when the wrong people enter your life, their dishonesty doesn't just deceive you, it distorts your perception of yourself. It anchors you to expectations, emotions, and choices that aren't truly your own. And so, we unveil the 8 signs someone is completely fake with you. Each sign is a map guiding you through the murky waters of human interaction. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Sign 1. They mirror without depth. The first sign is subtle, yet profoundly telling. A fake person often mirrors your behavior, speech, and preferences, but this reflection lacks depth. It's as if they are a shallow pool of water, showing you your own image, but without the substance of a true connection. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone new, and immediately they seem to align with your every thought. They share your hobbies, echo your political opinions, and even express admiration for the same obscure books or music that you hold dear. It feels almost magical, like finding a kindred spirit, but this harmony is an illusion. Such individuals don't mirror you out of genuine alignment or shared values. Instead, they do so strategically to earn your trust, approval, or favor. Their mimicry is a mask, not a window into their soul. And if you look closely, the cracks in this facade are unmistakable. Take a moment to ask them why they like the things they claim to share with you. What drives their passion for the hobby they profess? What specific part of the book they so eagerly named resonates with them? You'll often find their answers are vague, inconsistent, or unnervingly generic. They cannot sustain the pretense of a shared depth because their interest isn't rooted in authenticity. It's a performance designed to manipulate you into lowering your guard. The Stoics spoke extensively about authenticity, particularly the dangers of false representation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." A person who mirrors without sincerity isn't reflecting their true soul. They're camouflaging themselves in yours. To guard against this sign, observe their behavior when circumstances change. Do they maintain this so-called connection when you challenge their opinions? Do they still love your favorite things when there's no social reward for doing so? True compatibility doesn't falter under pressure. Pretense does. A genuine connection is built on mutual understanding, not mimicry. Ask yourself, are you looking at a true partner or merely a hollow reflection? Sign 2. Their words and actions don't align. Actions speak louder than words, yet for a fake person, words often hold all the power. They'll tell you exactly what you want to hear, make grand promises, and weave tales of future loyalty, but their actions betray them every time. A common trait of the inauthentic is their ability to craft words with surgical precision. They flatter, empathize, and articulate emotions so skillfully that you feel an instant sense of connection. But when the time comes to turn those words into deeds, there's a striking absence of follow-through. This disconnect is not incidental, it's fundamental to their character. Consider this example. A colleague at work promises to have your back on an important project. They assure you of their support and even elaborate on how much they respect your skills. But when the deadline approaches, they suddenly vanish, citing excuses or blaming circumstances beyond their control. Their initial promises were never about genuine support. They were about earning your trust in the moment. The Stoics valued congruence between one's inner values and outer actions. Epictetus once said, Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. This wisdom reminds us that what people do, not what they say, reveals the truth of their character. A fake person thrives in the realm of words because words are easy to manipulate. They require no sacrifice, no investment of time or effort. Words can create the illusion of care and commitment without the burden of actual responsibility. To identify this sign, observe their patterns. Do they consistently overpromise and underdeliver? Are their actions perpetually delayed, excused, or non-existent? Look for instances where they could have acted, but chose not to. Those moments reveal the truth. Genuine people understand that trust is built through consistency. They don't need to announce their intentions loudly. Their actions quietly reinforce their reliability. In contrast, a fake person uses words as a smokescreen to obscure their lack of integrity. Sign 3. They thrive on flattery and manipulation. Flattery is the oldest trick in the book, and for a fake person, it's often their weapon of choice. At first, their praise feels intoxicating. They shower you with compliments, inflate your ego, and make you feel seen and appreciated. But their flattery is rarely rooted in sincere admiration. It's a calculated tool to win your favor. Why is flattery so dangerous? Because it targets our deepest vulnerabilities. As humans, we crave validation. Even the most self-assured among us are not immune to the allure of kind words. But the Stoics warned against letting external praise dictate our self-worth. Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This mindset is crucial when dealing with fake individuals who use flattery as manipulation. Here's how it works. The fake person studies you, identifying the things you most want to hear. If you're proud of your intellect, they'll call you a genius. If you're self-conscious about your appearance, they'll lavish compliments on your style or beauty. Their words are tailored to exploit your insecurities, drawing you into their web of influence. But this form of manipulation doesn't stop at flattery. They often follow up their praise with subtle demands or expectations. For instance, after praising your skills, they may ask you for a favor that benefits them. Or they might use their earlier compliments to disarm you during a conflict, saying things like, "I've always admired how fair you are," while trying to sway your opinion. To discern whether someone's praise is genuine or manipulative, pay attention to context. Do their compliments feel excessive? Almost too perfect? Are they quickly followed by a request or favor? And most importantly, do they praise you even when it's inconvenient for them, or only when it serves their purpose? The key to overcoming this sign is cultivating inner confidence. When you know your worth, you're less susceptible to external validation. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Craving approval makes us vulnerable to those who exploit it. A fake person thrives on this dynamic, but when you stand firm in your self-belief, their flattery loses its power. Remember, not all praise is manipulation, but when it comes from a fake person, it's never about you. It's about what they can gain from you. Keep your eyes open, and don't let sweet words blind you to sour intentions. Sign 4. They avoid accountability. One of the most telling signs of a fake person is their aversion to accountability. They expertly dodge responsibility for their actions, deflecting blame onto others or conveniently forgetting their role in a situation. They live in a world where they're always the victim, never the perpetrator, and their mistakes are either dismissed or disguised. Let's consider a classic example. Imagine you confront someone about a broken promise or an unfulfilled obligation. Instead of acknowledging their failure and making amends, they immediately shift the focus elsewhere. "I only missed the deadline because you didn't remind me," they might say. Or, "I couldn't show up because I was dealing with so much stress, and no one was there for me." Notice the pattern? The fault is always external. It's the circumstances, other people, or even you, but never them. This refusal to accept accountability is more than a personality flaw. It's a deliberate tactic to protect their image. Fake individuals are more concerned with maintaining their facade of perfection than growing through self-awareness. Owning up to mistakes would require vulnerability, and for them, vulnerability is a risk they cannot afford. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-responsibility. Epictetus famously taught, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A person who avoids accountability cannot learn or grow because they fail to examine their own reactions and choices. Their dishonesty toward themselves spills into their interactions with others, creating a ripple effect of mistrust and frustration. Pay attention to how someone handles criticism or failure. Do they admit their faults and strive to improve, or do they scramble to build a wall of excuses? Genuine people understand that accountability is not a weakness. It's a strength. They take ownership of their actions, even when it's uncomfortable or embarrassing, because they value integrity over appearance. A fake person, on the other hand, avoids accountability like the plague. Their need to preserve their image trumps their capacity for honesty. If you find yourself constantly excusing their behavior or bearing the brunt of their blame, it's time to question whether this person values truth or merely their illusion of perfection. Sign 5. They gossip and undermine others. Nothing reveals a fake person more clearly than their tendency to gossip. They thrive on spreading rumors, pointing out others' flaws, and undermining relationships, all under the guise of being honest or helpful. While they may not attack you directly at first, their penchant for tearing others down is a red flag you should never ignore. Think about this. You're having a conversation with someone, and they start sharing a juicy tidbit about another mutual acquaintance. At first, it feels harmless, just friendly banter. But as the conversation unfolds, you notice a pattern. Their stories are always tinged with negativity, painting others in a poor light while subtly elevating themselves. They might say things like, "I don't want to gossip, but did you hear what so-and-so did?" Or, "I just think you deserve to know what kind of person they really are." The truth is, gossip is never about the subject of the story. It's about the gossiper's need to feel powerful, connected, or superior. By sharing secrets or sowing doubt, fake people manipulate your perception of others, isolating you from potential allies or trustworthy individuals. Their goal is to position themselves as your only confidant, the one person you can trust, while ensuring that your trust is misplaced. The Stoics cautioned against such behavior, emphasizing the importance of integrity in speech. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Those who gossip are not striving for goodness. They are indulging in petty drama that erodes trust and poisons relationships. Watch for subtle cues. How do they speak about others when those individuals aren't around? Do their words foster understanding and compassion, or do they stir division and doubt? Remember, if someone gossips to you, they will likely gossip about you. Their behavior reflects a fundamental lack of respect and authenticity. To protect yourself, distance yourself from their web of negativity. Genuine people don't need to tear others down to lift themselves up. They build connections based on mutual respect and honesty, not on the shaky foundation of whispered rumors and hidden agendas. Sign 6. They disappear when you need them. Perhaps the most heartbreaking sign of a fake person is their absence during your moments of need. When everything is going well, they're right there by your side, basking in the glow of your success or joy. But when hardship strikes, when you need support, understanding, or simply a shoulder to lean on, they vanish as if they were never there. Fake individuals thrive in good times because it's easy. Supporting someone when things are light and joyful doesn't require sacrifice. It's when the storm comes that their true colors emerge. Their disappearing act is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. They might offer excuses, become suddenly too busy, or deflect the conversation back to themselves when you reach out for help. Imagine this. You're going through a difficult breakup, a financial setback, or a health crisis. You turn to someone you thought was a friend, only to be met with silence or half-hearted platitudes. "I wish I could help, but I've got so much going on," they might say. Or, "I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're so strong." These responses are not about offering comfort. They're about avoiding the responsibility of being there for you. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." But fake people often cling to you with an anxious dependence on the good times, unwilling or unable to share the burdens of the present. They view relationships as transactions, not bonds, and when the transaction no longer benefits them, they withdraw. To spot this sign, reflect on the balance of your relationship. Are they only present when they have something to gain? Your time, your attention, your resources? Do they disappear when the dynamic shifts and you become the one in need? A true friend is not a fair-weather companion. They are steadfast, offering support not out of obligation, but out of care. If someone consistently fails to show up for you in difficult times, take it as a warning. Their absence speaks louder than their words ever could. Genuine relationships thrive on reciprocity, trust, and resilience. A fake person cannot provide these qualities because their connection to you is built on convenience, not commitment. Sign 7. They are overly competitive with you. A subtle yet insidious sign of a fake person is their constant need to compete with you. While a healthy dose of friendly competition can be motivating, the kind of rivalry exhibited by fake individuals is anything but healthy. Instead of celebrating your successes, they view them as threats, and instead of encouraging you to grow, they seek to outshine you at every turn. Picture this. You share good news with someone. A promotion, a personal achievement, or even a small victory. Instead of genuine excitement or congratulations, their response feels forced or lukewarm. Almost immediately, they pivot the conversation to their own accomplishments, often framing them in a way that minimizes yours. "Oh, you got a promotion? That's great. You know, I've been thinking about applying for a director role myself," they might say. This kind of competitiveness reveals their inability to see relationships as partnerships rather than contests. To them, every interaction is an opportunity to assert dominance or prove superiority. They derive their sense of self-worth not from personal growth, but from comparison, and ensuring they always come out on top. The Stoics teach us to focus on our own path rather than comparing ourselves to others. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. A genuine person doesn't concern themselves with being better than others. They are committed to improving themselves for their own sake. Fake people, however, are consumed by external validation. They measure their worth by how they stack up against you, turning every shared moment into a silent competition. They might even go so far as to undermine your efforts, subtly discouraging you or offering backhanded compliments. To identify this sign, observe how they react to both your successes and your failures. A true friend will celebrate your wins and support you in your losses. A fake person will either downplay your achievements or secretly revel in your struggles, using both as opportunities to elevate themselves. In the long run, their competitive nature erodes trust and creates a toxic dynamic. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual encouragement, not rivalry. If someone is constantly trying to outdo you, it's not about admiration, it's about insecurity. Sign 8. They exaggerate their virtues. Another clear sign of a fake person is their tendency to overstate their virtues. They go out of their way to appear morally upright, generous, or empathetic, but their actions rarely match their words. This facade of goodness is a carefully constructed illusion, designed to make you believe they are someone they're not. Imagine someone who constantly advertises their charitable deeds, generosity, or emotional sensitivity. They'll tell you about how they helped a stranger, donated to a cause, or supported a friend in need. At first glance, this seems admirable, but over time, you begin to notice that these stories always come with an agenda. They don't share them to inspire or uplift. They share them to gain praise and admiration. This kind of behavior stems from a deep insecurity. Fake individuals exaggerate their virtues because they lack the confidence to let their true selves be seen. They crave external validation and use their supposed moral superiority as a shield against scrutiny. But as Seneca wisely observed, it is not the man who boasts of virtue who possesses it, but the man who practices it in silence. True virtue doesn't need an audience. Genuine people act with integrity even when no one is watching. They help others not for recognition, but because it aligns with their values. A fake person, on the other hand, views virtue as a performance. They are quick to highlight their good deeds, but slow to act when there's no immediate benefit to them. To discern whether someone is genuine or fake, look for consistency. Do they practice what they preach, even when it's inconvenient or unnoticed? Or do their supposed virtues crumble under pressure? For instance, a person who claims to be empathetic might show little patience when you're in distress, or someone who boasts of their generosity might be reluctant to lend a hand when you need it most. A fake person's exaggerated virtues are like a costume. They can only wear it for so long before the truth emerges. Keep an eye on their actions, and you'll soon see whether their character aligns with their claims. Final thoughts. Spotting a fake person in your life can be a painful realization. These signs, mirroring without depth, misaligned words and actions, flattery for manipulation, and the rest, reveal a pattern of behavior that undermines trust and damages relationships. But understanding these patterns is the first step toward protecting yourself and cultivating healthier, more authentic connections. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our own actions, values, and responses. When you encounter someone who exhibits these signs, remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot change the nature of a fake person, but you can change how much power you allow them to have in your life. Take these lessons to heart. 1. Surround yourself with people whose actions align with their words. 2. Value authenticity over appearances, even if it means fewer connections. 3. Practice self-awareness to avoid falling into the traps of flattery or manipulation. As you navigate the complexities of relationships, let the principles of Stoicism guide you. Focus on fostering bonds with those who are genuine, consistent, and empathetic. By doing so, you will not only protect your peace but also create a life enriched with true, meaningful connections. Remember, wisdom seekers, the journey toward discernment is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. Seek the truth in others, but more importantly, seek the truth within yourself.